Hello, Tanglewood Tigers. Thank you for taking the time to become more familiar with the latest changes to FERPA. FERPA stands for the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. In this presentation, we will be discussing the basics of FERPA, the rights FERPA provides, the information it protects, how FERPA affects your classrooms, and the latest changes to FERPA. Let's first start with the basics. FERPA is a federal law that protects the confidentiality of student educational records. It grants parents the rights on behalf of their children, and it applies to all schools that receive federal funding for any program. FERPA provides the right to prevent disclosure of personally identifiable information from student educational records without consent. It also provides guardians access to review and inspect educational records. Lastly, it provides the right to request corrections to student educational records. The information that FERPA protects is any records that are directly related to a student. The records are maintained by a school or a third-party vendor. FERPA prohibits the release of any educational records without the consent of parents or the eligible students. Some examples of information that FERPA protects is student grades, immunization records, disciplinary records, and attendance records. How does FERPA affect my classroom? Well, in order to be compliant with FERPA, we must be careful with the technology we use in the classroom. We need to keep student data in a secure location. Be mindful of how we respond to access requests, and the data should be managed across its entire data lifecycle, all the way from capture to destruction. There have been significant changes to FERPA since its origination. Some of the exceptions to the restrictions on data sharing in regards to school safety have been updated. Now, personal information can be shared if it is used to keep students safe. If students' records are requested by law enforcement, a valid court order or subpoena in compliance with FERPA immigration law is required. Some do share that FERPA needs to be strengthened and more responsive to cyber threats. Alright, Tigers, let's make sure we stay compliant with FERPA by knowing our rights, protections, and exceptions, choosing compliant vendors, and encrypting files and emails to protect student information.
Created using Powtoon.